Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the Morning, 15 minutes to hopefully change your life. This share is in honor of happy birthday to Naomi Aliza Bas Shendel Schleifer. Thank you so much for everything you do for living Chassidus. You should have an amazing year, full of brachos, begashis, beruchnius, in everything. Okay, let's continue on over here. Now, we're getting to the end over here. It's going to be a very interesting class today. Okay, so we were discussing yesterday that even though the Frierdiker Rebbe says that what is achieved through having a skaf is the cervical almin, which we explained yesterday, through using a mashal, using the parable of a teacher and his student. There's one way the teacher teaches the student, that he explains to the student in a way that, and he analyzes what the student can receive, what he can understand. And he teaches to them, like, for example, imagine trying to teach a 5-year-old, a genius trying to teach a 5-year-old, so you can tailor it to what the 5-year-old can receive. And what the teacher is actually given from what the teacher understands is so minuscule, but that kid can go home on the Shabbos table and give over Divai Torah, and he thinks he knows the parsha. Now, it's incomparable to what the teacher knows. Then there's another way of teacher teaching. The teacher gives everything, the way the teacher understands it. And the teacher says, you know what, I'm going to teach it, I'm going to explain it. It's going to be way above, but I'm giving, the real deal. But what we're saying here is there's a deeper level, that not just that level, that's the level of cervical almin, but there's a deeper level, is as the teacher learns it for himself, irrelevant of any student. Teacher has a chavrusa with someone on his level, a genius studying in with someone else, and that's how he learns it, and that's how the teacher gives it over to the kid in such a way. And that's what we're accomplishing. The way God gives to the world, or what godliness is drawn down to the world, is not the level of godliness as it is tailored towards us based off our capabilities of everything that we are, like the 5-year-olds. And this is infinitely greater, more than this. It's not just the level of the way the teacher would teach, that it's teaching it as it is, the full thing, without caring about the kid, without tailoring to what the kid can understand, which is a much deeper level, and what's coming into the classroom is a much deeper level. And of course, when we're talking about godliness, it's even greater. But even more, as a teacher, it is for himself, not even connected to a student. He's not even thinking that there's a student. He's not even translating the words. Because in the second level, even though he's giving the student everything, and he knows the student can't get all of it, but he might explain it in a way he might give, translate everything, and try to explain some things, even though he knows deep down the kid's not going to understand it, because it's way above and beyond. We're talking about the teacher going to explain it in his language. It's like sort of when the Rebbe would speak, let's say, to the public school kids in Yiddish. He's giving them everything. Of course, it was translated and explained after, but the Rebbe was giving them everything. But over there, the Rebbe is teaching it. That's sort of the second level. That's the cervical. He's teaching it in Yiddish. The kids can really get it, but the whole box is for the kids, and then you need someone to explain to them. We're talking about a level that the Rebbe is teaching, giving a mimer chassidus to these public school kids that won't even get anything. But it's it's everything, and that's what we achieve when we have the iskafia, when we have that self-control, and we make sure to do the right. Just say no when we need to. It's not just we're doing the right thing. It's not just finally I'm doing something proper instead of always giving in. But you're transforming the world. And that's what we're talking about. Yeah, and in this book, we're on to page 77 in this one. Lessons in, yeah. And that's why the Frierdiker Rebbe explains in the Maimer, what is it called, the light? The light is histalik. That he says histalik, that because that histalik, which means withdrawal, removal. But what he's saying is not that it's a light that's removed, but it's light that's totally removed from the reality of the world. Meaning it's not removed like it's taken away, but it's removed meaning it's way above the world. It's not even in a relationship, just like the teacher learning by himself and giving that over to the students. It's totally removed from the students. And therefore, gam tiras tzadikim. That's why also the passing of a tzaddik, which we're discussing, Yud Shvat, the Frierdiker Rebbe, Nika b'shem histalkus. That's why it's called histalkus. He's never saying a beautiful idea. He's saying it's not that he leaves the world. It's just he gets to a higher revelation of reality. Histalkus G-dly because histalkus is a revelation on a great and very high level. Now, the Hine, now I'm going to explain from the Alter Rebbe. How Alter Rebbe, coming from the Alter Rebbe, explaining this idea. The Hine, Yesh Beis Igreis B'Igeres HaKodesh. There's two letters in the Igeres HaKodesh of the Alter Rebbe, Shemavarim in histalkus, that explain this concept of histalkus. Or B'Igeres HaBeis, and in the second one, Inyan histalkus Mevor Sham, explains over there what does it mean histalkus? B'Inyan Paras Chatas. The red heifer, the red carbon that you bring to this person is tamei become tar. Now it's interesting that when they sacrificed, that was done outside the Beis Hamikdash. The anyanim shenaisim bifnim, most of the kabbanis which are shlachted inside, which is in the Beis Hamikdash. What's the disadvantage of that? Ein yechelim levar shlosh klipos tameis. They can't refine the three unclean klippos. And it's a clipper. I can't refine it because it's a clipper. It's not strong enough to be able to go against. In general, when we talk about shlosh klipos tameis, they're unclean that we can't. The way we refine them is by staying away from them. But what we're saying is something even deeper. That when it comes to regular sacrifices, they can't transform the shlosh klipos tameis because they're not high enough, and they're too connected to the two in the Beis Hamikdash. But specifically the para the para that is of the red heifer that is done, they shafted outside, has the ability to transform. Because it's from the outside, meaning it's way above it, and that's what he's saying. It's a very beautiful idea. For this, that's why it's similar. The paras chatos is like, it says it's medamer le misasim shazadikim, to the death of a tzaddik, and he's going to explain. The hine ata ein paraduma. Now we don't have the paraduma. Kimi pnei ata ein because of our sins. Hayat tzarich liyos. It needs to be dafke galinim matena, that we have to be leave our land. We got kicked out of Eretz Yisrael. Aval eira silukan, but the transpired the passing of shazadikim. The passing of a tzaddik, meaning the Frierdiker Rebbe. What does that accomplish? And this idea of the siluk that we're explaining, it's not that he left, but he reaches a higher level and expresses himself in a wholly different way. There's two explanations. Shekula misasan shasadikim kisreifas beis elokeinu. But one place it says the death of a tzaddik is like the burning of the Beis Elokeinu, of the Beis Hamikdash. And then another place says kasha. See, look on tzaddikim, it's had the removal, the siluk of the tzaddik, yaser more michur Beis Hamikdash, more than the destruction of Beis Hamikdash. So one of them is it's equal to the burning of Beis Hamikdash, and the other one is it's worse than the destruction of Beis Hamikdash. Asher al yidei kol zeh istalak yikaru kuchabrichu. Through the passing of a tzaddik, what is it being accomplished? What's happening is that the high level of godliness, like we've talked about through our iskafia, the same idea is histalkus, is spread out. That's why it's histalkus. When you have the iskafia, you're causing this level to be spread out in all worlds. It's the same thing that's sort of achieved when the passing of a tzaddik. Now, this is the very interesting thing that he brings over here. Uperish in histalkus. So the explanation, in regards to the explanation, what does it mean histalkus? Perish kol harabeim. All the Rebbeim explained, and the Rebbe enumerates all the Rebbeim. One of the reasons why the Rebbe does that in general is like when on Yom Tovim we sing all the nigunim of the Rebbeim, is to draw them, is to bring them. It's like an invitation for them to come. And also by the Maimer, the Rebbe, he brought down different parts of all the Rebbeim, different stories. We had the stories of all the Rebbeim, and they sang nigunim. between, I think, the good maybe also would have been, and now he's going to bring down all their names. And all the Rebbeim explained. You have Kavod Kedushas, Admar Zaken, Alter Rebbe. Imagine the Rebbe saying this. If you go online, you can listen to this, and you'll find this. You can hear the Rebbe say this. You have Kavod Kedushas, Admar Zaken. You have the Alter Rebbe, Kavod Kedushas, Admar Imtzai. You have the Mitzvah Rebbe, Kavod Kedushas, Admar Tzemach Tzedek. You have the Tzemach Tzedek, Kavod Kedushas, Admar Marash. You have the Marash, Kavod Kedushas, Admar. Just eight, and you have the Rebbe, the Rebbe Rashab, the Kavod Kedushas, Mori V'chami Admar, and the Frierdiker Rebbe. That they all explain she'en hakavana befeirush tevas histalkus, that the idea of histalkus is not shehu aliyah l'mayl chas v'shalom. It's not that it's going up, that it's leaving the world, that it's separating, that's in the heavens. Ki im hakavana hu shenimtza l'matza. The idea is that it's below, meaning even though the Frierdiker passed away, but he didn't leave histalik. He's here. Ela shehu b'chinas roimless, but it's here in a much loftier manner. When he's here in the physical world, so he's limited by the physicality of the world. But whereas when there's the histalkus, so he's here, but on a much loftier level. And this is what is demanded of us, that we have this histalkus, meaning we have this ability, this power that is being invested within us from the histalkus, and that's demanded of all of us. We are the seventh from the Alter Rebbe. Like we explained before, that all seven are cherished. That we have this specialness, that we have this ability. As agam, as mehat das, nit, fardint, unanit, oiske harvet, even though we didn't earn this title of being the seventh. I didn't work for it. I didn't do anything to become here. I came here. I was fortunate to be born in the seventh generation. I get the title of seventh generation, and we all get this title of seventh generation, that we have this ability, and this histalkus, and this high level of G-dly revelation to use to bring Mashiach, that we have the ability and obligation and to do it. Nevertheless, that even though we didn't earn this and we haven't worked for it, we're still special. Our job, so we have to bring down the Shekhinah down below. The nefesh v'hamis, to transform the shtus, the folly of the nefesh v'hamis, asher yada in enosh, b'nafshei, that everyone knows themselves as their hatas. We all have this. We all have the shtus of the nefesh v'hamis, und dem kach for nefesh v'hamis, and we have a kach nefesh v'hamis, that we have these desires and these things we want that are totally irrelevant to the purpose of creation, the purpose of us being created. But their heart das, which everyone has, when Efshar Amal, it could even be Menach Nidrik, even lower. Not just the Karnash Hamis, but even a kach for things that are us doing. We want to do things that are wrong, and it's not good. That it takes us away from godliness. It could be us against the lacha. And what we have to do is to take that, to take it, to transform it to a shtus of kedusha. And that's what we have to do. And that's our specialness that we have, and we're going to do it. So, there's so much to be referring to, but a few little ideas is essentially you say to yourself, when we do something wrong, so what do we think to ourselves? Oh, it's a big problem. But we're saying that's the whole purpose. The whole purpose if you have these desires, these wrong things, is to have these challenges. Because the whole purpose of Derash Shvi is to take these challenges and to transform it and work on it. And every time you do it, and every time you win that battle, that little victory that you have, you draw it down this deeper level. You have this histalkus of the Frierdiker Rebbe, which means this extra added infusion of energy, of G-dly energy to help you. And when you do it, you bring the Ikar Shekhinah b'tachtenim. You'll bring godliness down, and no other level, no other generation could do. And that's our job, and that's and demanded of us. And to take and to recognize. So the first step in this process is recognize Nefesh V'hamis. Recognize where we are going wrong, where we're listening to Nefesh V'hamis, where we're doing things that are not helpful for us and getting us anywhere we want, and really understand it. That's the first step. We have to know ourselves well. We have to know, is this the right thing to be doing? Should I be doing this now? Should I be watching this now? Should I be listening to that? Should I be talking like this? That's the first step. We have to know it. If you know Puzchatzi, it says knowing the issue is half the solution. If you don't know when my Nefesh Hamis is speaking, then how can I transform Nefesh Hamis to Shtutz Kedusha? I don't even know my Nefesh Hamis. The first thing is to know Nefesh Hamis, know its kach, and don't be hard on yourself and recognize these things. And then recognize, hey, how could I transform this? How could I change this? How could I use this out for something good? An animal has a lot more power. In the old days, everything was powered by horses. People who didn't have the ability. Nefesh Hamis is a horse. He has that ability, has that strength. We just have to harness it. And when we do that, we are causing that the Ikar Shchinim Tachtenim, we bring the Ikar Shchinim back down here below. To be continued, Perek Ches tomorrow on Yud Shvat. Have a great day, everybody.